Chi, I teach Tai Chi and Qi Kung. Tai Chi means supreme ultimate. And that supreme ultimate means being in the moment right here and right now. Right? This is a concept that we're all familiar with, you know, taking time to stop and smell the flowers. But when are we going to do that? I'll do it tomorrow. Today I don't have time. We're so busy, we're so preoccupied in our lives. We're looking forward to tomorrow. We're carrying baggage from yesterday. And where's today? Today is just gone. Can you believe it's already 2013, I think? Like time just flies because we're preoccupied with the past and the future rather than today. So Tai Chi brings us into the moment. It's an exercise, right? Everybody needs to exercise. The challenge with exercise is finding an exercise that you enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to go back every week, and you need to go back every week. We need to do this stuff, especially as we age. So the value, the benefits of doing Tai Chi is it is a bone exercise. So we flex the bones and we articulate the joints. Flexing the bones revitalizes them. There's no other exercise that I know of that is conducive to regenerating bone or to keeping bones healthy. Tai Chi does that. As we age, a lot of people are suffering from osteoporosis and other bone degenerative diseases. So Tai Chi exercises the bones. Tai Chi also exercises the joints, because if the movements are done correctly, and it's not necessarily something you can see, but it is something that you can feel, every joint in the body enjoys a full range of motion movement. Okay, arthritis. Arthritis settles in the joints. If we're not using our joints to their full range of motion, we also get calcification in those areas where the joints are not being moved. And what that leads to, hip replacement. Anybody you know had a hip replacement? Let me say it this way. Anybody you know hasn't had a hip replacement? In a certain age group, it just seems to be a normal, you know? I don't think it is normal. This is the claw, this joint here. This is the femur bone where the head of the femur connects into the hip. This is the joint that people are having replaced because they don't use it. We spend all of our lives not using this joint. So in Tai Chi, we use this joint. It's called the claw. It's an incredibly important joint. The knee, right? People are getting their knees replaced. Ironically, this femur bone is the location of two major invasive surgeries that people experience with age. And let's face it, I'm 63. I've been doing Tai Chi for 40 years, since I was 23 years old. The earlier you start, the more benefits you get from it. So many people come to my class and, oh, I got this, I got that. I hear Tai Chi is good for this. Well, yeah. First you got to learn how to do it before you can actually use it as a tool. So another thing that Tai Chi is really important for is breathing. Qi Kung means using the energy associated with breath. When you do your Tai Chi movement, you have to breathe, right? Holding your breath is not conducive to anything. So learning how to breathe properly when you do Tai Chi form can only enhance the quality of your life as you practice the movements. And then the one element of Tai Chi that really fascinates me, and the one element that I really focus on, because there's 50,000 different things you can be working on while you're doing Tai Chi. And if all you're doing is getting up and moving, that's good. It's better than sitting on the couch watching a movie, right? We got to get active. But what I'm talking about is the connective tissue. The tendons, the ligaments, repetitive strain, anybody? The fascia covering the body. It's like a stocking underneath the skin that surrounds the whole body. There's also a fascia around every muscle, every nerve. Everything in the body is covered by a fascia. And Tai Chi is based on traditional Chinese medicine. Two parts. There are 14 acupuncture meridians in the body along which energy flows. The energy, we want the energy to flow unimpeded. When we're stressed out, you can be sure that there's not much energy flowing through my shoulders right now. We're taught, we're conditioned to raise our center of gravity up here, stick your chest out, suck your belly in. And what we're doing is we're raising our center of gravity up to here. We're bringing all this pressure up to the area around the heart. Do you really think that this is good for our heart? In Tai Chi, we exist here. This is the center of the body. And if you know anything about engineering, the center of the body is the fulcrum. So the point that I'm getting at is, of the 14 acupuncture meridians, there are various ways of correcting energy imbalances. One is with needles, we all know about that. Another is using moxibustion. The best way, as far as I'm concerned, is doing Tai Chi. But the point that I'm getting at is when an acupuncture acupuncturist, uses a needle. They insert the needle into the skin and they tent the skin so that they can connect with the connecting tissue. Okay, there's a theory that fibromyalgia is caused by a twisting, a proverbial wedgie of the connecting and inner tissue of the body. You know, this is the real challenge in these arts, and these are all part of the Taoist esoteric or internal arts, because we're moving inside the body. We're moving inside the body, and it's like a clockwork. So it's not an arm movement like this, it's an arm movement like this and this. Each segment of the body works differently. So doing Tai Chi is a tonic exercise. It's good for the whole body. And it doesn't matter which movement you're doing, whether you're doing a Tai Chi long form, Tai Chi short form, if you're working in the garden or you're standing at the counter preparing food. It's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. Are you standing like this? Are you standing like this? Negative emotions distort the way we hold our body, as I've just demonstrated. We carry around anger, we carry around frustration. We know what all of these various negative virtues feel like, but do you know what the positive one? Do you know what it feels like to be truly kind? Do you know what it feels like to be truly forgiving? Forgiveness is a really hard thing. Do you know what it feels like to accept those things we cannot change? I mean, we can all nod and smile. Yeah, intellectually I understand what you're talking about. But do you know what it feels like? Because they do have feelings. They're very, very profound. So these Taoist esoteric arts always start with an exercise called Wu Qi. So Wu Qi just means in the beginning. In the beginning you have to stop, you have to be still, and you have to be in the moment. And then not only in the moment, but you have to be in your body. So everything from the past is gone, the future is gone, we're just right here, right now. This is the center of the body, and all the movements of Tai Chi start in the center of the body. When we start in the center of the body, we can get a stretching and a pulling from all the tendons, all the sheathing that covers the muscles and the fibers and the bones. Okay, so there's different forms of Tai Chi. There's long forms, short forms, there's different styles. And I'm sure for most people, if you've seen a Tai Chi demonstration, you've seen a common form, and I'm not going to do that because you've probably seen that before.